Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of First Impression Sports Talk. I'm your host, Jasmine Pollack, and today we're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs. Get my camera straight. There might be some difficulties, but I want to talk about the NBA playoffs, and today I'm really excited because I think I'm going to start off by saying that we're in a new era of basketball. Kevin Durant's gone, Steph Curry didn't make it in, LeBron's out. So we're seeing a lot of the guys that, start, a certain generation off. And now it's a new age. And this is what, the world's been waiting for when it comes to, okay, who's going to get next? Who is going to be the next person in line to take over? And we're seeing a lot of these young guys come in and they're doing a big number. But I want to talk about the Denver Nuggets and the Timberwolves first. That's the game we're going to be talking about. And this is an interesting series because we all saw the Timberwolves steal home court advantage 2 nights ago. They do play game 2 tonight in Denver, so let's get into it. So the Denver Nuggets are the defending champs. They get the win, or they get the series win over the Los Angeles Lakers, and they've been owning the Lakers for the past couple of years now. So it's been a big deal of, okay, who's going to stop this Denver Nuggets team? Who's going to really put these Denver Nuggets on, their butts? And obviously we have the Timberwolves who are coming in as a hot young team who are competing. But if you look at how they matched up, you have Karl Anthony Towns, you have Rudy Gobert, two bigs, and then you have Jokic, and then you have Aaron Gordon, and then you have Porter, and they matched up very well. And to break it down, Jokic made nine attempts from three. What does that mean? That means they kept him out of the paint. And of course, that guy Ant-Man, I don't know what you can do to stop him because he's a menace. The kid is able to just create separation to not only on the offensive side of the ball, but also the defensive side of the ball, where he is putting people in uncomfortable situations. I remember the one play, the dagger of the game. This was not when he goes all the way down and gets the layup, but when and this was over Jokic and Pope, right? He's backing up, the shot clock's going down, and then he does the fadeaway shot. And I said, that is a killer instinct mentality that we've seen Jordan and Kobe have. So seeing what Ant-Man is doing, and then him being the youngest player since Kobe to get back-to-back 40-point games it's astonishing to me. And then not only that, like I said before, in the last show, Timberwolves haven't won a playoff series since 2004. And now you're seeing this young Timberwolves team, well-coached young team. And then not only that, you can see his leadership. Like, if my team needs this, he's going to go get it. He's going to be that killer that they need. I'm not waiting for someone else. He's going to go get it. And we're seeing that, in a big stage like this. It's not just against, this team or that team. He is going in these buildings. He got Durant out of here. Then you're going into the defending champs' building, in the game 1, and you punch them in the mouth. Now, I don't think they're going to sweep the Denver Nuggets, but the Denver Nuggets better make sure they're on their game, because Jamal Murray had 0 points the first half. That's not going to cut it, especially against this team that is hungry. And now they feel like, man, we can beat this team. And we know that we have the size to match. We have the players to match. That is scary to me. And I feel like if they're able to keep Jokic off the paint and keep him on the arc, leave him there. That is one of the biggest things in the game or in the series for them, is to keep Jokic off the paint. Because if you have Jokic going down those lanes, able to get those double doubles, able to get those rebounds and get those easy second point shots and getting those assists, that's where the Denver Nuggets thrive. But if you're able to neutralize him and keep him out, and then you're able to keep Jamal Murray in check, that's a big deal. And not only that, on the offense side of the ball, you're doing damage as well. So, let's look at some of the numbers. So, Jaden McDaniels, he had 0 points. That's not happening again. Karl Anthony Towns, he had 20 points. If you look at that, that's you need that from your big. Rudy Gobert had 6 points, but look at the big thing. He had 13 rebounds. That's a big deal. You look at Anthony, he had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, but he had 43 points. Then you look at Mike Conley Jr., the legend. He had 10 assists, 14 points. That's a big deal. And you have Naz Reid, 16 points, and most of his points came in the fourth quarter, so that's a big deal. So when you have your guys around you getting those things going, you're going to potentially win that game. Whereas you look at the Nuggets, Michael Porter Jr. had 20 points, okay. Aaron Gordon had 9. Jokic still had 32, but look at this. He only had 8 rebounds and 9 assists. You kept him out. You're not going to stop Jokic from getting his points because he's going to get his points. But you kept him out of the paint to where he does his most damage. Then you look at Pope, you get 6 points. Jamal Murray, 17 points. That's not going to cut it for Jamal Murray. And he started off slow. So that's not going to cut it. But I think tonight they're going to be able to turn around. But if the Timberwolves have that same philosophy, that same way of beating the Denver Nuggets, they're definitely going to win the series. And if I had to pick, if they ask Jazz, who do you think is going to win the series? You can never underestimate the defending champs. But if the Timberwolves are able to win this game tonight, I don't think Denver's winning. I don't. I think if Denver wins, we could probably get like maybe a game 6 or 7. But I couldn't choose because I'm still trying to figure out who the Timberwolves are. I've seen what the Denver Nuggets are and how battle tested they are. But this is definitely going to be a good series. I think it's going to be a phenomenal series. So we'll see. I'm rooting for the Timberwolves just because. But I think it's going to be a phenomenal series, and I think it's going to go back and forth. We're going to see some great basketball. But let's get into the other series. So let's look at it. The Nuggets and the Timberwolves, and then let me go back some more. Then we have now this one's going to be cool. Dallas Mavericks versus the OKC Thunder. Now, that series is going to be interesting because you have the Dallas Mavericks, who are seasoned, and not only seasoned, have been battle tested, but also have Kyrie Irving, who's also a veteran in this league, an NBA champion, and also battle tested, against a Thunder team who is young, who is gritty, who is physical, and knows how to win. Now, this is going to be some great basketball. All these series, if you look at it, is going to be some great basketball. And the Mavericks, the game 1 between OKC and the Mavericks are going to be tomorrow at 9:30. I'll say this. I think OKC is going to get the first game, but I think this series could definitely go to 7. I will give the edge to the Mavericks just because of they've been in this moment before, and they know that Luka's been battle tested before. It's just him getting over that hump. He's been to the conference finals before. Kyrie Irving's been there, done that. He's been at many different teams. Kyrie is an NBA champion. He knows what it means to win. So I feel like I think OKC's going to get the first game for sure. I think they're going to get the first game, but I think this game's going to go to 7. But I'll give the edge to the Mavericks because I think Kyrie is going to make that one shot or that one play that's like, oh my gosh, and he's going to put them to sleep. So I definitely think the Mavericks are going to win. But I want to talk about a little bit about the Clippers. We all know the Mavericks beat the Clippers. They've been having the Clippers number as well, but this is concerning for the Clippers because I feel like this era for the Clippers is over. We've seen it too much where we think, oh, the Clippers, man, they have Kawhi, they have Paul George, and they go get James Harden, they get Westbrook. So Ballmer built a team to compete for a championship. They did go to a conference finals before. They didn't get to the NBA championship, but what is concerning is Kawhi Leonard's health. Kawhi Leonard has been unhealthy for a very long time, and it is a problem. I see some of the comments. Denver can recover from an 0-2 deficit. Okay, that's of course they're battle tested. Like I said, they're definitely a team that has been battle tested, has been there. Minnesota is more talented team nonetheless. Yes, they are. We got OKC in 6. Okay, that's fair. But back to the Clippers. I think for the Clippers, it's just very annoying to me that you built this team, this stacked team of And then you get a great coach in Ty Lue, and you would expect that the Clippers would be a championship, would win a championship by now, but it's not going to happen. I think there's too much going on with the Clippers. I think there's too many egos. Also, Kawhi can't stay healthy. I mean, when he's healthy, he's still Kawhi Leonard. He still gets the job done, but his health is always like, oh, he's not coming in this series, or he's not playing these set of games. And fans, it's just, let's see. Clippers need jettison Kawhi Leonard. It's. I just don't know what more to say about the Clippers. I mean, you built a championship team. This on paper, this is a championship team, but it takes a lot. It takes cohesion. It takes a leader. It takes someone who can put their team on their back. And it doesn't help when. And here's the thing. They say, well, Kawhi didn't play. You had two superstars, essentially three. You still have Paul George. You still had James Harden. You still had Russell Westbrook. And we get on Russ a lot about different things, but there's no way your star players are 0 for 17. There's no way. There's no way. Hold on. Let's go look at these stats, because these were astonishing stats. How is it that your star players, Paul George, and it's just ridiculous. Hold on, let's go to, what was it? Yeah, here we go. So Clippers lost 114-101. Okay. How is it that Paul George had a better scoring with only 18 points? How does that happen? And then James Harden gives you 16? No, there's no way that they should have had that. When you have Kyrie has 30 and Lucas has 28, you got to outscore them to win this game. And then they're getting help. Norman Powell had more points than Paul George and James Harden with 20. And Norman Powell's a dog. I'm not saying that is a diss, but your star players didn't even crack 20 points in a closeout game. It's really frustrating. Clippers had championship team on paper since Kawhi got there. Never healthy. Yep, exactly. They were never healthy. And if I'm Ballmer, you got to blow this team up. You have to. There's no possible way you can keep this team together. I think James Harden, he had that game, in game one of the series where you're like, man, oh no, hold on. But then falls off. When we're talking about championships, we're talking about you have to consistently do that. You have to consistently have that type of performance in a playoff series. And it's frustrating because time and time again, we have seen James Harden in these moments where, oh man, James Harden, he had, when he was in Houston, 30 and 20. He's having those 30-point games, 40-point games every week, every day, every game. But in a closeout game, you're 0 for 17, you're 0 for 12, you're 0 for 18. No, Harden. You can't have that. And frankly, I'm over James Harden. I'm over James Harden. I'm getting tired of him because we have seen so many times, like I said, of him getting his way. He should have stayed in Houston. You could have won in Houston. You very much so could have won in Houston. But the late great Kobe said that style of play is not going to get you anywhere. And that's just what it is. Trade Kawhi, Harden, and Westbrook, sign team-friendly deals, or bounce. I agree with that. I do. I just think you can't, especially you're building the new arena. The Clippers, this is just, I don't know what to say. There's a lot wrong with the Clippers, and I don't see their future being very bright. And I feel like they're in the same position as the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns are in trouble. The future's not bright for them either. But for the Clippers, they're one of the most disappointing teams that we've seen, where we think like, man, like, they get Kawhi, they get Paul George. All right, they got two star players, and then you have your role players. Then you get a James Harden, could be the third option. That's not a bad third option. Then you get Russ from the Lakers. There was moments where the Clippers were a scary team in the beginning of the season, but you know what happens? Health. It's always about health with them. But I digress. I think when it comes to the OKC and Dallas Mavericks, I think I have a game 7. I think that game could go. I think that series can go far, but I'll give the edge to Dallas. But I wouldn't be surprised if OKC won. But let's look at the Eastern Conference because we have the Boston Celtics. I believe they are facing the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers. This is the first time getting to the second round without LeBron, so it's a big deal. I'm sure the Cleveland fans are really happy about that. Unfortunately, I don't have the Cavaliers beating the Celtics. Do I want to say sweep? No, but I'll give Cleveland one game because I know Mitchell is there. I know Mitchell can do some damage. They have some guys on there, but I think the Celtics gonna win. But I will say this: Porzingis is injured. That could play a role in some things, definitely. So we'll definitely watch out for that. But I don't think the Cavaliers have enough to beat this Celtics team because obviously the Celtics team is looking for that championship. They have a championship roster. They've been the best team. They've been the best team in the East for the longest time. But I don't think the Cavaliers can beat the Celtics. No, I'll probably give them maybe one game possible, but I don't have them beating the Celtics. So that series is whatever. But this Knicks series, let's look at this. This Knicks and Pacers series could be very interesting. This is another series I'm really excited for because there's a lot of unknowns with both of these teams. The Pacers are just getting back. They beat the Milwaukee Bucks, and you have the Knicks. I'm really excited for this series because you don't know what you're getting. Jalen Brunson is a dog. This kid, I don't know what to say about Jalen Brunson. Like, I did not see this coming from him and how he's playing and how he's putting this Knicks team on his back. And they have stars all around. They have guys that can play, but man, this series could definitely go to 7. This series right here, if I had to pick any series out of the whole NBA playoffs right now, this is the series to watch out for because there's so many unknowns, and I think to me this series is a bit overlooked. We're talking about the Denver Nuggets, we're talking about the Mavericks and the OKC. But this series right here, this is going to be a very competitive series. But I'm gonna be honest, I can't pick this series because I feel like, man, they are very these two teams right here have been through a lot. They've been through a lot, and they're getting back to that winning form. They're getting back to getting people involved, getting back to being relevant again. And I think the Knicks are a very scary team. I'm going to read some of the comments here. Clippers backing Tyronn Lue is on point. He ain't the problem. Absolutely. Tyronn Lue is not the problem. He's a phenomenal coach. Boston in 6. Yeah, like I said, Boston in 6. Well coached with depth. Cavs are a solid team. Yeah, for sure. But like I said, I'll give Cavs one game, but that's pretty much it. Cleveland, more complete team than Knicks and Pacers with #injuries. Okay, fair enough. Knicks in 6. New York Knicks are going to the conference finals. Hey, that's what everyone is predicting. I'm excited for the Knicks. I am excited for the Knicks because I know their fans have been waiting a long time for this moment for them to get back and really say, man, are the Knicks back? And they're behind Jalen Brunson 100%. Jalen Brunson is their guy. And whatever happens, keep Brunson. Go get him some help. Go get another. There's a lot of star players that are going to be in free agency coming out. And I think they need to go get someone. If whatever happens, if they do ended up not winning, they need to go go get some guys around Brunson. Pacers don't want the smoke, talented team, but it's New York's time. I think this season can go to 7. I do. And what's scary about all of this is I hope that what's scary for the Pacers is you beat a Milwaukee team that didn't have their star players most of the time. Lillard was in the boot. And I'm telling you, if Lillard stayed healthy, I don't know if the Pacers would have won, especially what I saw in game one. I don't know if that would have happened. I don't know. But, injuries happen. So, of course, you take advantage and, you get the job done. Of course, Giannis was injured as well. But I'll get into the Bucks in a minute about my take on them. But there's some exciting series going on. I feel like when you look at all of these series, I think that they can be competitive when we look at the Celtics and Cavaliers series, I think the Cavaliers will get one, but that series is not going to be as competitive as people think. But the Knicks and Pacers competitive series. I think that OKC and Mavericks competitive. I think the Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves, that's going to be a competitive series. This is finally time where we're saying, okay, LeBron is out, KD's out, Curry's out, Giannis is out. We got a new wave of players, a new wave of young guys coming in, making a name for themselves, and now it's time. And if I'm the Timberwolves right now, the time is now. I mean, what if the Timberwolves are able to get past the Denver Nuggets? Who's stopping the Timberwolves if they're able to get past the Denver Nuggets? Because the Denver Nuggets have been a tough team. They've been a tough team for the past 2 years. They're defending champs for a reason. Milwaukee imploded this year, going to be an interesting offseason. Yep. And I can't help but think of them getting rid of their coach. Now you can't predict injuries, but getting rid of their coach when they were winning. And then you get Doc Rivers. No disrespect to Doc Rivers, but when has Doc Rivers been that coach? Ever since 2008. Of course he was with the Clippers, and the Clippers had a team then, and then they didn't win. Okay, you go over to the 76ers. There's a lot wrong with the 76ers, but you go over the 76ers, you're supposed to, get Embiid. You had Jimmy Butler, you had James Harden on that team. You had Embiid, you had Max. I mean, what are we doing? And then Milwaukee fires their coach after they're winning. It's not like they weren't winning. They're winning. I don't understand. And then Budenholzer, you fire Budenholzer after you win a championship with him. I didn't get that either. I think Milwaukee has a lot of front office issues for sure. I don't know how you fire coaches after they win a championship. Milwaukee let Giannis be GM, and every decision they made has backfired. Absolutely, exactly. How do you fire Budenholzer after you won a championship with him and you've been in the conversation in the playoffs with him? I don't get that. And then the coach you had afterwards, you were winning. You're winning. Now, rumor has it that Giannis wasn't happy that his brother wasn't getting playing time or something like that. So, of course, he goes up there. I don't like this guy. Get him out of here. Okay. But that wasn't – I just don't understand that. And then you get Doc Rivers because are we hiring Doc Rivers because of the name and what he was? What has he done lately? What does his resume look like lately? And that's been a problem. So for that, I think that we are it's very concerning where Milwaukee is. And I think, and on top of that, I think if I'm Milwaukee, I would bring Lillard back. I was one of those people, I thought Lillard was going to Miami with Jimmy Butler and them down there in South Beach. But if I'm Milwaukee, re-sign him, give him a contract. And also, you need to set the record straight. And I get Giannis is the face. I get all that. But some guys do not have that GM mentality. Some guys don't have that ability to do that. There's only a few guys that are able to say, I want that guy, and it works. It backfired very badly on Milwaukee, and those types of things don't get you back to an NBA Finals. Those types of moves do not get you back to championship winning pedigree for sure. And before we get out of here, I do want to talk about the Miami Heat. We all know the Miami Heat lost. They were injured. They lost to Boston. We get all that. But from Miami, as long as you have Eric Spoelstra, you're always going to be in the conversation because I think Eric Spoelstra is a phenomenal coach. The question was, what is the Miami Heat going to be after LeBron leaves, after D-Wade retires and all those guys? They've been very fine. They've been fine. They have weathered the storm and they've done pretty well. They've been to 2 finals after that. They've been to conference finals. They've done fairly well for themselves. But I think what's someone asked, what's your favorite team in the NBA? I do not have a favorite team. One thing about the NBA to me, at first it was Miami because that's when I first started watching basketball with LeBron down there in South Beach. So I became a Miami fan because I am from Florida. But I do root for the Magic because I'm in the Tampa Bay area, so I do root for them even though they lost. But it was just a great showing of them getting to Game 7 with the Cavaliers. But I do not have a favorite team currently. My favorite player is LeBron, but I'm starting to love Ant. At one time I did, I do like Giannis. I do like what Jokic is doing. So I have a lot of guys that I do like, but I'm waiting for that guy that I can say, okay, after LeBron retires, I'm looking at Ant though, for sure. Ant is becoming he's becoming a problem for me, and I really, really like him a lot. I do like Ant a lot. So I am rooting for him. He has that Jordan-esque, Kobe-esque feel about him. And we haven't seen a player like that dominating how he is and how he's able to change the game and change the course of the game. I haven't seen that in a long time from a guy that has those tangibles like that, like a Michael Jordan. Miami just needs to be healthy and get out of the playing tournament. I agree, get healthy, and I think they need at least one superstar, another superstar with Jimmy Butler for sure. And I think they can go get some people as well. Favorite player again is LeBron James, but when LeBron retires, because I know he's on his way out of here, I might jump on Anthony Edwards for sure. He is what I'm seeing from him. I'm really, really excited. I'll still root for Miami because my fiance, he's from Miami, so I root for Miami. But and then of course the Magic, I'll root for the Magic. But Ant is becoming a favorite player of mine. Yeah, Ant is a good choice. I mean, I haven't seen a player Ant primed to be the face of the league. I agree. I think he can very much so be the face of the league. That was a question. Can Ant be the face of the league? Yes, 100%. Because he's reminding people of that killer mentality, that killer instinct that we haven't seen a lot of people have. Even LeBron, as big of a fan as I am, LeBron doesn't have that killer in him. He has other great attributes and talents, but that killer he does not have. But that's what and before we get out of here, I love to talk about the GOAT debate. Look, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I'm one of those people that will always say Michael Jordan's the GOAT because I love Michael Jordan too. And I wish I was born in that time of seeing Jordan in his prime. My dad was able to see him, my mom was able to see him, and just hearing the story, seeing some of his highlights. Michael Jordan was just he was a force, man. And just seeing what he was able to do, and how he was able to do it is just, he changed the course, not just basketball, but sports in general, where he was able to do. So I'm one of those people, I'm not one of those LeBron fans saying, oh, LeBron. No, I would never say that because Jordan is the GOAT. He's the greatest basketball player of all time to me. But LeBron is my favorite player because he was when I started watching, that's who I saw. That's who I gravitated towards, and I rooted for him. And I'm going to continue to root for LeBron as long as he's in. But Ant has those intangibles. I have not seen that killer since Kobe, because I watched Kobe, towards the end of his career, like Ant has. Ant has the swag to him. He has that killer mentality, and he has the charisma like them, but he just has a smile on his face and he just talks mess. But I think Ant could very much still be the face of the league. But if I'm Ant right now, it's open, right? Like for real, like if you look at right now in the West, and if he's able to get past Denver, and this is no disrespect to OKC at all, because I think OKC, they're the best team in the West for a reason. But if Ant is able to get past Denver, I don't see how anybody beats them. I mean, Denver they've been dominating for the past 2 years. They won a championship because we were just waiting for this Denver team to get healthy, and they got healthy and they won. If they're able to get past, I don't know. I don't know who would beat the Timberwolves. If we see them versus the Celtics, like just hypothetically speaking, let's say Timberwolves versus the Celtics in the NBA championship. I don't know, because I feel like Ant has that killer mentality, and what he's showing, you know, playoffs right now. He's on a tear right now, and he has a team around him that it's not just him. It's not just a one man show. He has guys that are competing with him that are getting points as well. So this is a scary Minnesota team. So if they're able to get past Denver, yeah, Ant has arrived. He's been arrived, but Ant can very much so be the face of the league. But I would say I would root for Ant after LeBron retires. But that wraps up this show, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for your comments. Shout out to all of you. Again, if you'd like to see more content from me, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is First Impression Sports Talk. Make sure to subscribe. I'm gonna be starting my show back up because I took a break off because I did a huge NFL draft show that was 3 hours long. So I took some time off of that, and I'm going to get back to doing that. So every week I will be on. You'll see me do short videos, live shows every week. But if you'd like to tune in, definitely subscribe to the channel, which is First Impression Sports Talk. One more comment before we go. I can't wait for Shy versus Ant so y'all can put some respect on KC's name. Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for this NBA. I haven't been excited in a long time for the NBA for a while now because the super teams thing has been it's been tough for me because I've had my issues with the NBA. But this is exciting because we have new faces in and they're all making a name for themselves. So I'm really excited. But this wraps up the show. Thank you all. I'll see you guys next week for more NBA talk. So that's what we're going to be doing. So have a good one.